The following episode of the Comics and Crypto podcast is for informational purposes only, and anything expressed by the hosts or their guests is solely their opinion. This podcast does not constitute financial advice, and anyone wishing to invest should seek their own independent financial or professional help. Have fun and enjoy the show.
Hi, I'm Sean O'Hare, and I know comics.
Hi, I'm Spencer Vogel, and I know crypto.
Hi, I'm Kevin Lee Loader, and I don't know shit. This is the Comics and Crypto podcast.
Comics and crypto, crypto and comics, collector's world in a digital age. Comics and crypto, crypto and comics, it's where the next billionaires will be rich. Comics and crypto.
What is up, VEVE fam? Today we have a very special guest with us. We have Davis Brimer, who is the founder and CEO of Gamisodes. Gamisodes is a cool new platform that is combining gaming and television in a really cool way. We got introduced to Gamisodes and Davis through San Diego Comic-Con a couple weeks ago, and we thought this project was really awesome, so we wanted to be able to share it with our community. So welcome, Davis.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good to see you guys.
It's going to be a really fun conversation. I'd love to get your background in the NFT space and in crypto space. Maybe we could dive into that a little bit.
Yeah, so I've been kind of jumped into the deep end, as you would say, a couple of years ago, and really started swimming around and seeing what was out there. I'd say my background is probably not as conventional as you might think. As somebody who would start found and launch a blockchain based company, so I can start a little earlier there if you want.
Sure.
I'm one of those typical people who just kind of likes to go around and see what interests them, and then figure out a way to spend most of their life working on it. And so starting out as a kid, I was a collector of comic cards. I was never really a huge collector of comic books. I was more of I would go and get the Wizard every month, and then search and see where can I flip a comic book and make some money. So my entrepreneurial instincts there. I was a radio talk show host, a TV show host, a professional DJ for many years. And then, like anyone who with that kind of background would do, I went and worked in medical devices and biotech.
Natural progression.
Yeah, it's that graduate, the feeling of oh man, I have to graduate into real adulthood now and get a real paying job. And a little bit different. I ended up starting a few companies in those spaces. But more recently, I was helping a buddy launch a stem cell company for dogs. A really cool company. It's called Gallant. It's still out there right now. And after doing that, took a little bit of time off to kind of do some, try life crisis of is this really what I want to be doing? And soul searching and. Decided to kind of just be my own in-house entrepreneur in residence. Timing was great. COVID hit around, so I was kind of forced to stay home anyways. And long story short, everything ended up taking me back to cartoons and gaming and collecting and the stuff that I loved doing growing up. That was my life growing up as a kid. And I felt like I really had lost touch with it. So a big part of the soul searching during COVID, because I had all these conferences and stuff lined up to go to and meet a lot of people and network and exchange business cards, and those are a thing. Got stuck at home, and so I decided to watch those conferences, online and start emailing people. I had a little bit of time in my hands, so I bought one of those 6-foot Connects Ferris wheels and built it in my office.
Yep.
Oh man, that's so much fun.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. A lot of people are you're like a grown man and you're doing what with your in your evenings? Yeah. But when you build it and show it to them, they're they get it. They get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a lot of conversations. Met a lot of really interesting and cool people. Sandra Schwartz, who's on our advisory board, he's the former president of Warner Brothers Animation. He and I had a lot of really just kind of inspiring conversations about the media and entertainment industry and the rise of the gaming and collectability and virtual collectible industry. And anyways, I digress a lot. So essentially, it was about 2 years in the making of not just NFT and crypto, but media, entertainment, gaming, collectability, video on demand, different types of business models and companies that exist today, and why they do things the way they do them, versus opportunities to potentially come in and disrupt some pretty big industries. So all of that came together. I think your original question was about NFTs and crypto. Again, I myself am relatively new to this space. I mean, I think most people are kind of new to this space, but I would probably fit myself in that category as well. It's a very relatable position to be in.
Yeah, you know, it's very interesting in this space. We've noticed a lot of people who are kind of new to the concept of collecting, but they started buying these digital collectibles on different multiple platforms, and they're buying physicals. And they're getting really excited about it. It's really fun to see their passion grow for the world of collecting. Do you still consider yourself a collector?
I am getting back into it now.
Cool.
Very
Nice.
Sadly, I remember receiving a phone call in college from my parents who were, moving, they're empty nesting and moving and having a garage sale. And they're like, hey, do you want your card collection still? And I was like, just sell it. What am I going to do with those? Oh man, I'm so bummed. So I'm having to start rebuilding the collection and have visited, I'll be honest, I've visited eBay many times and looked at, do I want to buy the full collection of Marvel Series 1? Or do I want to collect them like individually and in smaller sets to get that experience of collecting?
Yeah,
That's cool.
So I'm on the cusp, I'd say.
nice. That's great. Yeah, I mean, we're both huge collectors, and yeah, so we love to hear what people are interested in, what people like to collect. I mean, I don't know if you necessarily consider Connects like a collectible, but that was something as a kid. Like I love to build Connects, Bionicles, and Legos, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, God,
Mhm.
Connects were so much fun. Yeah, I'm pretty sure actually a girl I went to like high school with or whatever, I think her grandfather was actually the inventor of Connects. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's rad. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
But I bet they had a lot of really cool Connect stuff, like, throughout their house.
I'm sure. Yeah. So moving on to Gamisodes. What is a Gamisode?
Gamisode, all right, this is going to take a really long time to explain. It is a gamified episode. Simply put, it is a gamified episode. But it's as cool as it sounds and way cooler. So a lot of people traditionally think of TV shows and gaming as two separate products, two separate experiences. We are creating an entirely new genre of media where there is no distinction between the two. It is truly a gamisode. And so our first IP, our first show that we've secured is Inspector Gadget, the classic 1980s Inspector Gadget that we all grew up on and know and still love the theme song today.
Well, I wasn't born yet, but maybe you guys.
I remember.
Yeah, it's really just an iconic, love. So the idea of the Gamisodes is taking all of the fun, interactive elements that you typically would experience in gaming, whether it's collecting the various tools and vehicles and weapons sometimes, and gadgets in this case, and leveling up, and having a social experience in a metaverse like world, but essentially doing that inside the cartoon. And so there's way more that we're working on and thinking of than we have time to discuss today. But imagine just experiencing that cartoon show like you did as a kid, Saturday morning cartoons, eating your cereal, sitting in front of the TV. But now you're actually in the show. You're not watching the show, you're playing the show.
Wow.
So cool.
That's the stuff dreams are made of, really. I mean, like this a kid wishing you're a part of that world. You're actually making it happen. That's incredible.
Yeah, I have to say, it's not just me. We've got an insanely talented team working on this. That's something that I anytime I start a company, I think very, very carefully about. It's not, a company really isn't a company. A project isn't a project without the team.
Yeah.
And so we've got some really talented artists, game designers, and developers, like very high up level, executive level advisors, working together to bring all of the insane ideas down to an executable plan. And so we actually started out that idea because, as you can imagine, building out an interactive, animated show metaverse gaming world can take some time. So we actually found a way to introduce the idea and introduce the fun and the collectability early through introducing collectible cards.
You guys launched those at Comic-Con a couple weeks ago, right?
We did indeed, yeah. So a little late to the game. We were trying to think of, with the first Comic-Con back in Sesh IRL, man, is there anything that we could do that would just be like a lot of fun and kind of in the spirit of how we want to represent Gamisodes and the types of things that we're looking to do? And so we ended up deciding to just casually flood the streets of downtown San Diego with in-costume Inspector Gadgets, handing out. Oh God, we had so much fun with that. And we were handing out limited edition. There were flyers, but they're actually cards on one side, and then on the other side, for the more ambitious San Diego Comic-Con attendee, you could scan a QR code and redeem a free collectible NFT, only available throughout the Comic-Con weekend.
And you saw a lot of traction. A lot of people, it seemed like they were excited about them.
Yeah, honestly, we weren't really sure, because in talking with people, there are a lot of attendees that don't really know what NFTs are. They're not very familiar and perhaps a little bit scared of the blockchain, or might think that it's just a place for people who want to get rich quick and shill pyramid schemes and all of that. But we ended up having thousands of signups, thousands, not
Incredible.
just signups, but accounts created to redeem the free NFTs. So we were really happy with the kind of response and turnout that we got from that.
That's so cool. So how do these NFTs, how are they actually going to tie into the Gamisodes?
So the first set of NFTs that we released is a set of 4. We call them our commemorative Gamisodes Inspector Gadget NFTs. Those are really meant to celebrate the revitalization and introduction of Inspector Gadget into Web3. And so those tie into something that we're doing on August 5th, and we might have an encore if by the time you're watching this, that date's passed. But we've actually worked with the company that owns the rights to Inspector Gadget to remaster the episode, one of the episodes to start. And so we've taken that content from the fuzzy, 1980s, slightly up-resed, in the 90s cartoon content, and remastered it into just like brilliantly beautiful, colorful 4K resolution. When the file was delivered to me, I was like, cool, I could download it and watch it. And I went to go get like a drink from the fridge to come back to watch it. And then I realized it was 100 gigabyte file. So we're talking like big time. So looping it back to those cards, we're pretty excited about gamifying not just the Inspector Gadget episodes, but the remastered gamified episodes. And so we thought a great way to launch the platform and launch kind of what we're doing to the world would be to create a set of 4 commemorative cards, celebrating the reintroduction of Inspector Gadget and his first debut in Web3. So one of those cards was free. It was what we call the fully remastered card. And then the full set, the 4, shows progressively the card being going from being remastered to going back to being vintage.
Cool.
So that's the set that we have right now. And then there's another one coming out shortly thereafter we can talk about at some point if you guys want.
Yeah, we can talk about that. That's, I think August 12th, right, is when you guys are launching that, the next one?
August 12th. So slightly more collectible and in-depth than the 4 set commemorative cards. We are launching on August 12th, our first drop, of the 165 Inspector Gadgets that he activates in season 1 of the original 80s
So
series.
cool.
It's insane that there were that many within just season 1.
Just season 1. So it's 65 episodes. You better believe it. We, multiple members of the team, went through and binged the entire season multiple times and databased every single one of the gadgets that he activates. And we counted 165.
Wow.
To further complicate the collectability here, for those super collectors out there. So some of those gadgets are super common, like ones we know, legs, arms, copter. They come out almost every episode, but some of those gadgets only ever show up once. One time, not just one episode, but one time in one of the 65 episodes. So there is a pretty large handful of very, very rare cards in this set of collectible gadget cards. So essentially, whether you are a diehard collector, a diehard Inspector Gadget fan, or a gamer, this set of collectible cards really is for you. At the bare minimum, when the gamified episode platform comes out next year, holding the gadget card will enable you to activate the gadget on your avatar in the metaverse, metaverse world. So, you know, probably if you are collecting these cards, you're going to have legs ready to activate, arms ready to activate. The moment we open up access to the platform, a lot of card holders will get alpha and beta access to the gamified platform as well. But now imagine if you have one of those one gadget, one episode, super, super rare cards. You're going to be the only one, let's see here, dropping a yo-yo out of your head. So, you know, some pretty cool stuff there.
Sounds like a flex move for me.
Yeah.
I could see it. I could see it now.
What a flex move.
So basically the quantity of cards that exist for each lines up directly with the number of times that it appears in the episodes. Is that how it plays out?
Yeah, but essentially the probability of those cards. So we ended up creating 5 tiers of rarity. And the most rare are the gadgets that only ever show up once.
Nice.
The common cards are, which you're going to come across quite often.
Helicopter.
Those are going to be your copter, legs, arms, those
Nice.
types of ones. Yeah.
Nice. So how many cards come in one pack?
One pack is 5 cards.
Cool.
And I think we decided we're going to price them at a very modest $4.99, $5 a pack.
Great. Oh, super accessible.
That's awesome.
Love that.
Yeah. So we wanted it to be so if you just want to come in and kind of join the fun and collect a pack of cards, see what you get, cool, you can. You know, it's probably like the price of a latte. But if you want to get serious about collecting, you can also grab a box of cards, which I believe is 10 packs, or a mega box, which is 20 packs. And
cool.
You know, it's like you normally would in the store. If you get a box of cards, you get a little bit of a discount for them.
Mm-hmm. So are the packs themselves NFTs that you'll be able to, like, if you wanted to hold on to the pack and not open it, is that a possibility?
Oh man, that's such a great idea, and we're working towards that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we kind of face that decision point, which I think most projects do in the beginning, is do we delay delivering until we have every single thing that we want, or do we get some of the fun stuff out and deliver more awesomeness as we go along? And so the unpacking aspect of it will be coming kind of probably mid release of the various cards. Oh, that's another thing I should probably mention. So rather than just dropping all of the gadgets all at once, we've decided to do it in a series of releases or sets.
Cool.
And so for 13 weeks, each week will be featuring 5 episodes of Inspector Gadget. And we're going to see if we might be able to air those in our Discord server. So if you want to come and watch them with other people and chat, you can.
Cool.
Cool.
But at the very least, they're available on YouTube for free. And so the gadgets that are available in the packs of cards that week associate with or correspond to the gadgets that show up in those 5 episodes that week.
Cool.
So we'll announce ahead of time what the episodes are and what the gadgets that are going to be featured that week. So, if you want to get that yo-yo, you got to make sure that you come in and collect and get some of the packs and collect some of the cards that particular week. But if you happen to miss it, there will most likely be the opportunity to go in and purchase packs from previous weeks. So while we will make the particular week's packs only available that 1 week, we're going to archive any remaining inventory, but then we'll probably go out and release them again in the future. But first and foremost, we will be introducing a peer-to-peer marketplace so that you can go on and list yours if you want to, buy, sell, trade, you name it. And we'll be connecting the Dapper wallet into that.
Nice. Yeah. And for those that don't know, Dapper wallet is on the Flow blockchain, which is like NBA Top Shots is what they're most well known for. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you guys actually decide to go with Flow instead of other blockchains?
Yeah, honestly, we spent a lot of time digging in and doing the research. We spoke with a lot of blockchains, both directly and indirectly. And ultimately, we know that a lot of Inspector Gadget fans they're going to be first time to crypto and NFTs. In fact, a lot of people in our Discord server say these are their very first ever NFTs.
Cool.
And so we wanted to go with a blockchain that we felt had the technical capabilities to do everything the blockchain should be able to do in the most decentralized manners, but to provide an onboarding experience that is a little bit more familiar to a Web 2.0 user. Being able to have fiat or essentially credit card or debit card purchasing.
Yeah, it's huge.
A very familiar checkout process with a cart. So we ended up partnering with Shopify,
Nice.
The Shopify Plus program. We were accepted into their exclusive NFT beta program.
Cool.
So we felt like, in addition to Flow and then Shopify and Dapper, that bringing those together, in our opinion, really brought together a nice, safe, secure, and environmentally friendly solution as our starting point. Are we going to be a solo blockchain platform forever? Most likely not. But we ultimately we really liked the Flow team, the Dapper team, and felt like this was the right initial home for us.
Flow and Dapper doing some really, really cool stuff.
You got to give them credit. They essentially led the way with CryptoKitties and then NBA Top Shot on Flow. And it's really impressive. They have a lot of understanding of how to put these types of projects together and provide a tremendous amount of support and help for companies and brands coming into this for their first time.
I was curious why you chose Inspector Gadget to be the first release.
That's a really good question. And because you can imagine when you're building a 6-foot Ferris wheel out of Connects, like you have a lot of time to think about stuff and watch cartoons and have conversations with Sander. And we went through a list of hundreds, which was whittled down from thousands of IPs. Really thinking about if we had to pick the one that we wanted to start with, what would it be? And a big part of it was that we wanted something that a kid of any age could jump into and have fun. And when I say kid, I don't mean by how many times you've gone around the sun, like your age. I mean, do you like to have fun and play games and watch cartoons, whether you're 5 or 95? And so we wanted a show that pretty much anyone of any age, anywhere in the world, most likely has heard of and would just bring a smile to their face. And we wanted something that had real gamified episode potential, real collectability potential, and a few other criteria. But ultimately, we didn't just happen to get Inspector Gadget because it was available. We went after it and opened up the conversations with the people at WildBrain who are the rights holders to Inspector Gadget, and we spent a long time talking with them and having conversations over the course of months and months and months, really talking through the various ideas, ideating with them, and coming up with some, just amazing ideas for such a precious and an important show. So yeah, I mean, Inspector Gadget is couldn't have been a better fit, and WildBrain couldn't have been a better partner working on this. But I will say, while it is our flagship and potentially, the best show known to mankind, it is our first show. So it is just the beginning for us.
Nice. I'm gonna guess that you're not able to share any of the other ones that you have planned.
Not at this time. Not at this time. The standard answer, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe once we have some cool stuff to announce, I can come back on and
Nice.
share with
I
you
would
guys.
love that.
In this metaverse, would you potentially look to combine these worlds together, or are they completely independent?
It's I think there's a lot of possibilities there. Yeah,
Nice.
there's a lot of possibilities there. I mean, because we're the Gamisodes platform, like thinking like a streaming video platform or a gaming platform. We're Gamisodes, and so this is Gamisodes Inspector Gadget, and you can imagine there's going to be Gamisodes, other show. But to get to those, you log into Gamisodes. So we'll see where that takes us.
That's
So
great.
what does the roadmap look like?
Yeah, so I've already shared a bit of it. We literally just announced over Comic-Con that Inspector Gadget as our first IP. We launched those commemorative cards. So again, a lot of this has been in the works for a while.
Yeah.
Launched those commemorative cards, which I believe we have a few of those for your guys as listeners. We are, over the course of pretty much the remainder of the year, going to be rolling out the collectible gadget cards, rather than just binging it every week by week and going through the grind. We'll probably take some breaks. We're definitely going to throw in some fun game nights, competitions. We have some pretty talented artists in the Discord, so definitely going to be doing some fan art competitions.
Cool.
Announcing a few other IPs from time to time, maybe. And then starting to work on in more depth, the gamified episode platform, which we plan to release. I think right now we're saying early next year.
You're so fun.
It is. It really is. It is a lot of fun. We're not just a project with a few friends working on it. We're actually a real business. So it's a lot of fun, but there's a lot of business and a lot of work behind it. And so, again, a shout out to the Gamisodes team for all their hard work bringing everything together.
So will NFTs actually be necessary to play a Gamisode?
So I'll answer the question a little bit differently. We envision that the platform is free to play. So a freemium access. And we have confirmed that we're able to do that even with the gamified episodes. But if you want an enhanced experience, if you want to maybe accelerate earning one of those gadget avatar items, or powering it up and graduating it to the next level, then you can spend a little bit of money and do that. So very conventional in terms of how a lot of gaming platforms work today. Mm-hmm. Where the NFTs come into play is this was kind of a fundamental belief rooted in the creation of this platform, is as a recovering lost collectible fandom, if you will. So getting back into it, in other words, when you collect cards in the real world, you collect your Marvel cards, you can put them in a case of cards next to your baseball cards if you want to. You can take them into the other room. You can go to your local comic convention and sell them or trade them. You can make some really bad, like wagering moves with your friends and lose them. All that fun stuff. And so we really felt that true ownership of virtual goods and virtual items is really important. A lot of people spend the majority of their life in a metaverse world now. Not necessarily like in a bad way, but we all spend most of our days, many of us, in front of a computer.
Yeah.
And so why should there be any difference in terms of ownership of virtual items versus physical items? So we really felt that blockchain technology enables that. We as a platform, no matter what happens to us, if we're ever acquired one day or we go public and regulators come down on us about something, which I mean, this kind of stuff happens all the time to all sorts of companies. We think that what our community owns, they should own. It's theirs. We can't take it away from you. I mean, we never would. There'd be no reason for us to, but it's yours. So really, for us, that's where the whole blockchain NFT aspect comes into it. There's there's not like a huge cryptocurrency aspect to the gaming right now. Eventually there could be a Gamisodes platform currency perhaps. But yeah, this isn't like a get rich quick kind of an NFT platform. It's a digital ownership kind of NFT platform.
Cool. Like really collector focused.
Exactly. Yeah.
Love that. So you guys have been experimenting with a lot of kind of like the intersection of digital and physical. So kind of like what you're doing at Comic-Con with having those cards that you give out that were redeemable for an NFT online. Then you also mentioned that you're doing something with physical shops in the US. Could you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, so something that we're really interested in doing, haven't quite launched anything yet, but when we were at Comic-Con, you have a chance to talk with a lot of people when you're there, and it's just everyone there knew Inspector Gadget. Everyone loved Inspector Gadget and was actually genuinely excited to hear that there's something coming out that it involves Inspector Gadget. And so we were thinking about just finding ways to share that fun and love with people throughout the country and throughout the world. And so one place that we were thinking of is like, all right, people collect cards, people collect comics, games, where do they go today to get those? Well, online, so we're already online, but also local shops. So we're really interested in finding ways to get the local shops involved and kind of look at some more of the physical digital, the phygital types of activations that we were doing at Comic-Con. So yeah, we're very open to talking with shops and coming up with various ideas and finding some fun stuff to do in the future.
Phygital, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
It's
yeah. I think there's a lot that can be done there.
And I love that you're reaching out to local shops about this company, because a lot of especially comic book shops, they're discouraged by NFTs right now, and mostly because they don't understand it. But I try to help them understand there's a great opportunity here, because a lot of it, but first of all, it's a massive new audience of collectors that you're alienating by not trying to at least try to encourage it a little bit or embrace it, and maybe even promote it to get more people involved. So I'm really excited that you guys are taking that initiative to progress the space and unite the space.
Yeah, that's why I've always, typically the companies that I've started have all been pretty disruptive, come into a space and do things very differently than is done today. Honestly, that's just what I love to do. But I'm not doing it to come in and bulldozer what's been done. I'm coming in because maybe there's other new ways that we could start doing things and bring everyone together and find ways that we can all win. And so that's a big part as well of thinking about the shops is not just going straight over them and saying, oh, you don't need physical cards anymore, all you need are virtual cards. You don't need tabletop games anymore, all you need is virtual games. Actually, I think we need all of them, and I think there's ways that we can bring them all together.
I love that. Yeah, that speaks to the heart of our podcast, the core. We try to bridge the physical and digital worlds of collecting. So it's so wonderful to hear you say that.
I love it. Comics and crypto. There you go.
Yeah. So I think this would also be a good time to announce the giveaway that we're going to be doing together.
Oh, you want me to do it?
Yeah, sure. Why don't you explain what we're giving away? Yeah.
Okay. So we mentioned earlier there are these a set of 4 cards called the commemorative Gamisodes Inspector Gadget cards. We're only offering those to be publicly available. I believe it's either August 11th or 12th is the last day. They're up for sale in our shop. You could think of those as like VIP club cards. So if you have one, you're going to get special perks. If you have all of them, you're going to get earlier access to those perks or more perks, such as early access to the alpha, beta, Inspector Gadget gamified episodes. So what we wanted to do for the community here is we have some giveaways. We decided on not 1, not 2, not 5, not 10, but 20 full sets of these commemorative cards as a giveaway. So I don't know exactly how it works with you guys through the community, but we've got these 20 sets of cards and let's give them away.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We'll definitely figure out the details, but just so y'all know, it's coming. So keep an eye out on our Twitter account.
There'll be a gleam that we'll be shooting out. Exactly. But yeah, but thank you so much, Davis. That's super generous. And yeah, we're super excited to be able to get those out to our community.
Yeah, we're excited. I mean, when we actually learned about you guys, like we said, we met at Comic-Con essentially. And just, I mean, this is so cool what you guys are doing. It is spot on, bridging the two worlds together. And I mean, anything that we can do to support and offer some freebies, you know, let's do it. I mean, if you like giveaways, we also launch a few from time to time on our Twitter, so we'll make sure to let you guys know that as well. And then something that I've seen in our Discord community, kind of time and time again, is that, and I'm not prompting this. It's just people chatting and kind of I'm reading over it. Is there's something different. There's something different about the community, and I kind of get that sense too, and different in a good way, and different in like a maybe like I don't know, like a weird way we don't know about yet. But come on over and check it out. Come on over and check it out. We've got a lot of cool stuff going on there. So yeah, definitely we'll see you there.
Nice. Yeah. Well, so make sure you follow Gamisodes on all socials. Get in their Discord server. And thanks for coming and joining us today, Davis. This is such a great conversation.
We'll make sure to include the social links down below in the details as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Davis.
Thanks so much.
Comics and crypto, crypto and comics, collectors world in a digital age. Comics and crypto and comics is where the next billion